Big thanks to Kamada Joe for sponsoring this episode.
Can you take the most undesirable cuts of meat and turn it around in something beautiful and delicious? The other day, a farmer came by on the barbecue barn and he brought us a 3-year-old sheep shoulder. And for you guys at home, when you eat sheep, most of the time you eat lamb. And there's a good reason, because lamb is delicious. I love lamb. I can't talk about it enough. I love doing lamb recipes, I love doing kebabs, roasts. Doesn't matter, it's all good meat. It's all good flavor. But when we step up our game, and we're talking about mutton, it kind of has an expiration date. When we're talking about mutton, most of the time you go to 1 year old, 1.5 years old, maybe 2 even. But after that, it's gonna get tough, gonna get stinky, smelly, not really a beautiful flavor that you wanna have into your dish. So what I have right here is a shoulder of a sheep and it's 3 years old. This would be considered not doable, but we're gonna make it work. The first thing we need to do is to chop this piece of mutton up. I'm taking my knife and I work my way along the bone. Once you have most of the meat off, it's time to cube it up. What I'm trying to do is to separate the good meat from the hard fat, because we don't want hard fat in our dish. But on the other hand, fat is what gives us flavor, so don't take out too much. Once that's done, I'm gonna put it in a bowl and I'm gonna work on our marinade. Put in 3 tablespoons of chili powder, 3 tablespoons of cumin powder, 3 tablespoons of coriander powder, and 3 tablespoons of turmeric powder. Then add a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of pepper. Mix the spices up with your hands and put in a tablespoon of sunflower oil. Mix it up again and then set aside your meat to marinate for at least 2 hours. But if you can, do it overnight. And while our mutton is busy getting all that flavor in, we're gonna light up our barbecue because it's been around 2 hours now and we gotta fire it up. So I'm gonna put in a medium amount of charcoal, put some fire starters in and light it up. Our charcoal isn't lit up yet, but we still need to heat up our cast iron Dutch oven. So I'm gonna put in the spider, and this is one of my favorite tools on the Kamada Joe, because you can put a wok on, but you can also do a cast iron. I got my cast iron Dutch oven right here, and I'm gonna heat it up. And that's why I wanna do it now, before the charcoal is lit, because it takes a while. Of course I wanna use some oil before we heat it up, so we can make it nice and smooth and non-stick. Gonna take a paper towel, and this is special oil just for the seasoning. Our pan is almost up to temperature. I'm gonna put in some sunflower oil and heat it up. And now that the oil is hot, I've chopped fine 4 cloves of garlic and 4 thumb-sized cubes of ginger. First the garlic, then the ginger, and fry that for around 40 seconds. Then take out the mutton and start frying your mutton into the ginger and the garlic and let all those flavors come together. What we're looking for is a quick sear. You don't need to overdo it, but we need a little bit of the texture on the outside. All those flavors, you can already smell it. It's beautiful. After around 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna add a little bit of water and then let it reduce for another 10 minutes. When the fluid is fairly reduced, I'm gonna slice up 2 red onions, really fine, and put it all in. And then let the onions disappear. And when you can't recognize the onion anymore, it's time to cube up 6 medium tomatoes and throw them straight into the Dutch oven. Now these tomatoes contain a lot of water. You have to keep that in mind. And because of that, you have to add less water in the rest of the cook. And to compensate these watery tomatoes, I'm adding a can of tomato paste. This is mutti. I always use mutti. And this is around 3 tablespoons. And now we're gonna add some heat. I'm gonna slice up 4 small green peppers and 4 red ones. I'm gonna leave the seeds in because I'm a dangerous kind of guy. And then add enough water to almost cover the entire content of the whole Dutch oven. And in the meantime, our mutton curry has been simmering for 4 hours. That's a long time, but it needs that time. And you know why? I'm gonna show you. This is what I wanted. It's completely fall off the bone tender, and it's not meat anymore. It just became one solid, beautiful masala curry. I completely cooked this with the same batch of charcoal you saw me pour in the beginning. And the way you get that slow simmer is by closing the fans as much as you can. So in those 4 hours, I started with the vents open to the first stripe and the bottom vent to 2 fingers thick. But when my charcoal was too lit up, I closed it again and also the top vent. And if I needed the power again, I just open up the vents again. That's the way you want to cook this. And now that we're almost finished, I chopped fine some fresh cilantro and I just want to pour in maybe 1 hand or 2 hands full. Just if you don't like this stuff, maybe just a little bit. You can leave it out. I just love this stuff. Let it cook for 5 more minutes and then it's serving time. And around 5 hours later, you have this beautiful lamb curry. Well, I can call it beautiful and it looks beautiful, but is it beautiful? This is where the whole video is about. Can we use a 3-year-old mutton shoulder and make something beautiful out of it? And everybody said, no, you can't.
It's a 3-year-old sheep and you're not supposed to eat a 3-year-old sheep, but man, this smell doesn't lie.
And I'm saying there's always the curry option. Let's find out.
I think we debunked a myth here. You can absolutely make an amazing curry with a 3-year-old mutton.
I think we can do 6 now. Can a sheep even become 6 years old? I don't know. This is amazing. Little bit spice. You need that layer of the cilantro on top. After that, you're gonna taste all those tiny little layers of flavor. And I'm using the spoon, but actually I want to do it like it's supposed to be, and just like this.
This has so much depth in it, in the flavors. There's spice, but there's freshness and there's a bit of sweetness. And like Morrison said, you can't taste at all that this is a 3-year-old sheep.
And maybe some people wouldn't call this a curry. I do. It's a lot of spices for a long period of time cooked together with some beautiful meat. I call this a curry and I love this curry.
You and Jim are very big into lamb.
Yeah.
Me, not so much. I like it, but I have to be in the mood for it, you know?
Yeah.
And when we had a 3-year-old sheep here, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be for me, but man, I'm gonna empty this bowl.
I think you almost called in sick when you heard it was a 3-year-old lamb.
Yeah.
But honestly, this also could be a tougher cut of beef.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't do it with a very old chicken, but
No. But you can do this with a brisket. Leftover brisket.
Yeah,
This would be
leftover
amazing.
brisket.
I can't stop eating this.
No, yeah, I don't want to turn off the camera.
I'm just gonna walk out of the frame now.
Okay.
And then you can do your thing.
I want to thank all the patrons and the YouTube members and everybody that's watching this right now. Comment down below what you think. I want to hear all the stories of all your mutton experiences in the comment section right now. Go for it. I want to hear it. I want to talk with you. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then,
Eet smakelijk.
and keep on eating mutton.
Yeah, make it. Do it.